this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why I love learning from other people and just ways you can gain knowledge and gain experiences that from other people. They've probably already went through it. So you learning from them, you could potentially avoid their mistakes, avoid their terrible habits and stuff like that. But overall, if you can learn from others, then you can sort of save yourself the learning and jump ahead. But ultimately, if you go through it, that's also great because everything's a learning experience. But in this video, I'll be going through the different points that will hopefully benefit you in the long run if you can learn from others as well. But before I jump into this video, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. You guys are all awesome, and if you haven't already, do subscribe at the end of this video. Everyone counts, and seeing those numbers go up make me so happy. So yeah, let's jump straight into this video. So firstly, it's learning from other people's mistakes where you will gain the most knowledge, because ultimately, if you go to school, university, and you study business, all of that is theory, and unless you go do it yourself, ultimately it's not that much useful if you literally don't do it yourself. So as much as you can apply that theory into business, there's nothing like going to experience. So when you potentially start your own business and you know someone who's already created a product or started a market store or started something that is within your field, seek them out, see if you can learn from them, see what kind of mistakes that they've gone through. And quite a lot of the time online, there's a lot of articles, there's a lot of podcasts and books on millionaires and those who have been successful in their fields, and I think that's where you can learn from. And I think when you learn from other people and particularly their mistakes, then hopefully you can sort of avoid their mistakes for your future. And I think when you consider the amount of years it takes time, patience and perseverance that these successful people has gone through, any ounce of information you could take from it will be so beneficial, and it sort of saves you that heartache some roads down the line if you can learn from someone else who is a bit more experienced. Because ultimately, if they're sharing their problems, sharing their problem issues and ways to solve it, then they've already gone through it. So potentially you will go through it the same, but you would have a heads up. So when you learn from others, you get that bit of heads up, you learn from their experience and what to avoid. But ultimately, it's knowing what to anticipate might happen. So do learn from others because it's so beneficial, because if they went through already, you will potentially go through it again as well, but at least you'll have a sort of ways to overcome. The second thing is gaining their knowledge and experience. So again, learning from them, learning from their experiences is beneficial, because a lot of the time, if you haven't already experienced yourself and you've gone through the heartache yourself, then you will never know what is gonna be potentially there to knock you down. And I think when successful people tell their stories and they share their knowledge, that's the way for them to project and be able to help others who may want to follow their own path. So if they want to keep their problems to themselves, successes over and over again, talking about successes, you won't really learn from other people's successes unless you learn from how they solve their problems to get to their success. Because ultimately, with every millionaire, there's failed businesses, there's failed decision making. They've done this wrong, they've entered the market at the wrong time, wrong product, and learning from that experience, learning what they have done is perfectly okay, because they are also human. You are human, and if you make mistakes, it's perfectly fine as long as you can learn from it and you can take the positives from it. Just like the successful people, this is the mindset that you need to go from. You need to learn from others, see what you can take the useful things from what they've learned and apply it to your business, to apply it to yourself and your products as well. So do learn from others. The valuable knowledge is so important, and there's so much you can gain from other people that you can avoid for yourself and potentially prosper even more because you've learned it from those who have pioneered prior successes. The third thing is knowing what to do and not to do. And I think again and over again, it's very hard to know what you should be doing unless you've already done it. So when you learn from yourself particularly as well, once you go through a couple of steps and you find out something doesn't work, then learn from it, try something else. Think about why it doesn't work. Why was it a problem? What kind of ways can I solve it next time? And try again. And then try again. Because ultimately, these are the things that successful people do. They keep trying. They don't just quit straight away unless they believe it's time to quit. If there's an obstacle, there's always a solution. I think there's always a solution. It might take longer. It might cost you more money, more resources, but if it gets to a point where you are satisfied and you're happy, then you should definitely go ahead and do it. But knowing what to do next is knowing that next step, is knowing what you need to do is do this in order to get to this goal. And I think that's so important. Once you have a goal in mind and you have a persistence and you're driven, you will carry on doing it until you get to that goal. And I think once you achieve that goal, that satisfactory, that relief, the sacrifices that you put in will be all earned, and all the hard work you can see for yourself. So do persist, because ultimately once you know what you're doing, then it becomes more routine, and then you know what to do next time whenever the problem occurs again. Maybe you know a plumber or a builder who could come help you if you have a shop and stuff like that. If something breaks, you have no idea how to do, look online, find someone. But once you've already got these contacts, then it'll be easier. You know who to call, you know what to do, you know what to buy, you know how to fix it. And that's the whole learning process. When you start a business, there's no way of knowing everything in the beginning. You will be learning every single day, every single hour, months and years to come, and you are never really stopping to learn from yourself and your other people. So do keep learning, and knowing what to do is so important, because keep pushing forward. The fourth thing is that you could avoid costly mistakes, and I think this is the money maker here, because literally so many people have made so many mistakes, and if it costs them a lot of money, you can avoid it for yourself. I think that's the biggest eye-opener in that sense, because if they've spent thousands and thousands of pounds on something that didn't work and now they've found out how it could work, you can learn from it. You don't need to put all that money into your business because you know it doesn't work for other people. But it's really down to the business that you set up. And I think when you learn from others, you will go through the same obstacles that they probably will go through, and whether that will be costly will be down to you, and whether you can adapt and see what you need to do in order to avoid that costly mistake. But if you already read up someone else's experience and they've already been through it, then literally you could navigate around it, and you could come out with different solutions, creative solutions, and be really proactive in your problem solving, which is such a key trait when you're an entrepreneur or you're starting any business. That avoiding the costly mistakes is the thing that will keep your business going. And I think when you are in a tough position and you are trying to find your way out of it, if you can learn from others and ask for help potentially as well. Do ask for help. Don't be afraid to take all the burden on yourself. Do seek help from your families, from your friends. Maybe they have solutions, maybe you have connections that could connect you as well. But don't do it by yourself if you think it's going to be overwhelming and you can't do it by yourself. Do seek help. They are there to help you, so do bear that in mind. And my fifth and final point is that it sort of touches upon the other points as well, like all these other points, is that you can decide what to do differently compared to what you have and what they've already been through. I think when you do something more differently and you sort of add your own spin to it because you've already seen their mistakes, their costly mistakes, and the experiences that you want to try to avoid, you can do something different. And I think that's so important because there's so many things that you can follow, and there's not a guide that will guide you step by step to success, because ultimately the success will be down to yourself and how you sort of imagine success is. So do consider stuff that you'll do differently, the problems that you'll be going through, and if you can change it up and change up your business, then obviously that's a way of maybe avoiding costly mistakes and learning from others will be key to that, because they've already gained all the knowledge, experiences, skills that potentially you'll be gaining along the way. So do see it as a way of learning from them and doing stuff differently, because maybe it's outdated and you could be bringing a bit more technological sort of insight into something, and definitely go about doing it, because ultimately there's so many new things that be coming out. You could be introducing it, and definitely why not. So thanks for this video, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. Hopefully you found this video useful and you can start learning from others. Definitely podcasts, books, just like videos, and going to like trade shows, and just like see who you admire, see if you can learn from them, and if you could take any bit of knowledge and avoid it and use it for your business, then that could be valuable in so many part of the sense as well. So do always seek knowledge, do find your way through your business journey and create your own business and sort of legacy in that sense as well. And as long as you're happy, do go about doing it. Do like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video. Have a business with Dave. See you later.